I am officially live. Let's get this show on the road. Make sure I sound like a human being. Hello, hello, everybody. It looks fuzzy. Hi, Debbie. How are you, darling? So we're going to be making a traveler's notebook in a similar fashion to the one that I gave to Mom to create. If you haven't checked that out, please go over to her channel and see her Happy Meal that she just received. So I have here some cardstock, not cardstock, this is cardboard. This is like a used cardboard that I used, that I just kind of had stashed. I used this before on some modeling stuff that I was doing with some clay. So it's a little dirty, but it's okay. It's not dirty like that. I just had my clay drying on it. And I've cut this down to size. Hey, Brandy. How'd you doing, love? I'm also going to be using some of these. Let me take them out of the package so that you guys are not blinded by the light. I have a light right over my desk now, so hopefully there's not too much glare. But I have these. These are the multi-sticky back foam sheets. And these are 6x9. So I've pretty much trimmed this down to be 6x9. It was actually a little larger than that, but I've trimmed that down. And here are the pair of pants that I have already started taking apart. And I have one more pocket to remove on that one, which I'm going to start doing that now. But these are the remnants. And, oh, you are? Well, that's good. Oh, you did? Hi, Tanya from New Zealand. Welcome to my channel, darling. So we're going to be pretty much doing this. And we're going to be using this. I've already removed the pocket if I find it somewhere. I've started kind of taking this thing apart because I'm not sure how many elements I am going to incorporate into this. But I do want to keep true to the fact that they used to be pants. So I will be definitely using some of the remainders of the pieces that were there. So let me put this to the side. And hopefully I find that pocket. Yeah, here it is. This is one of the pockets that I removed that I'm going to be attaching to the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the other pocket from the other side of the pair of pants. And I call these Spanish pants because, you know, for those of you that know Spanish people, we like to wear, most of us, I'm not one of those, but we like to wear very colorful clothing full of bright and bold prints. At least I grew up watching my mom and my aunt wearing the most colorfulest clothes in the world. So my mom actually brought me, this was like some time ago. She always brings, you know, clothes and stuff for my kids, which some they like, some they don't like. This was in the I do not like this, Mom. Please take these and hide these somewhere. Don't let her know that, you know, I threw these out type of pants. So, hi, Janet. Hi, Linda. So pretty much these are my Spanish pants that nobody wants. And so I had it there because I did like the print and I figured, you know, maybe not to wear, but maybe for like something else. So making spirit lately. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have the rest of this here, which we're going to use to pretty much cover this. And you'll see what I'm going to do with that. Right now, what I'm going to do is actually remove this pocket here. These are the only two pockets that I'm going to keep from this. The other ones, they're just a little bit too cumbersome to deal with and or play with. And since I'm not going to be using all of the fabric at once, I figured that I can do it this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to remove this, and then we'll start to assemble. It shouldn't take me too long. This does not require any hot glue. It does not require any sewing. I'm going to be using the Dollar Tree embellishment glue to put this whole thing together. Thanks, darling. it's a really good way to kind of use up these kinds of, you know, these articles that you don't necessarily want to throw out when it comes to clothing. And the fabric is nice and sturdy. Um, and you can pretty much still find some kind of use for them. So I'm going to turn this into that and then show her like, hey, look what I did. Look what I did. We didn't throw them out, you know. Usually we'll just donate like bags of clothes. Like she'll donate it to us and then we'll donate it forward. Not of everything, but you know, some things. Some things they're just too loud and proud, and we're just not those kind of people. So we'll just, you know, and part of my coughing, I tell you guys now, my chest is just like, oh, it's better than it was, but I'm still kind of dealing with it. I'm still kind of fighting through it. So if I happen to get the giggles, I might just, you might just hear the drums bursting right along with it. So I'm just pretty much making sure that I stay really, really close to where they actually sewed it, right to that little rim, so that it has like a natural little edge and I don't have to worry too much about it. I find so many uses for that glue that I use, you guys. It's unbelievable. And this is definitely one of them. It really does a really good job and it's nice and sturdy. It does not come off once you put it on, you guys. I kind of messed this one up a little bit. I cut it too much at an angle, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I have my two pockets. This measures 6 by 9 going this way and across. If I find my ruler somewhere, where did I put them? I put them somewhere. Let's see if this is long enough to measure that. No, those are not your jeans, and I would not go outside with you if you wore something like this. Trust and believe that, boy. You be staying home that day. All of a sudden, I'll catch a headache. So I'm gonna say that this is about 12 inches and maybe an eighth, like 12 and an eighth. With a little line that comes after the 1/8, whatever little line that is. Oh, you're in here. Hi, Tanya. How'd you doing, love? So the first thing I'm gonna do with this is apply these foam sheets, okay? And the reason why I like to apply the foam sheets onto the cardboard itself is because, number one, it serves as a good protectant and sealer, so that it doesn't, in case you do happen to lay your notebook somewhere where it's wet, because it's got the foam sheet, it won't penetrate into the cardstock, into the cardboard itself, and so you don't have to worry about the cardboard itself getting, you know, getting bad. And you'll be able to dry this up real quick without doing much damage to the inside. And plus, it feels nice. It's got that nice cushiony feel, so it'll give it, you know, a not so cheapy choppy kind of feel. It provides some cushion. So let's go ahead and remove this. And this is really, really simple, you guys. This is like the easiest way I know how to do it. And where is the way that it naturally folds? It naturally folds this way. So I'm going to apply this on the outside. This is going to be my outside. And this is my Dollar Tree glue. You can use whatever you want to use, but if you want to use double-sided tape, so on and so forth, that's completely, you know, user's choice, or maker's choice, I should say. I'm just going to sprinkle on just a little bit of glue here and there, just for extra support. Even though it is a sticky back, I just want to make sure. Now, this this cardboard itself, it already had like a natural little spine, so I'm just going to keep that the way it is. And I'm just going to make sure that I do this, that I stick this down right before that spine begins. Yes, because it's not a Dollar Tree product. It's actually a different brand that is just sold at Dollar Tree stores. I forget what the packaging says. Let me see. I think I bought one today. Let me see if I find it. Well, maybe they've bought it over, but it used to be. It's the same exact bottle, but this used to not be the label for this. It used to have a different name. I don't want to say the wrong name, but it was something like Elroy, something like that. It was a weird kind of name. But this used to not be the package for it. But yeah, it's the same size bottle. The cap is exactly the same. But I think that what they've done is that they're buying the bottles from them and then they're just putting it in their own packaging. You know, that Crafter Square, which is a Dollar Tree brand. But prior to this, they wasn't selling that brand. It was a different brand that they were selling. And I know that also Dollar General sells the same exact glue, but it's a different brand as well. So here I'm just gonna lay this down. And if you have a little bit of excess here and there, don't worry too much about it. If it's not too much, you can leave it there. If it's, you know, if it's a lot, then trim it down. But if it's not too much, then you can leave it there. And feel free to buy, not to buy, but to trim this down for a smaller size if you're trying to make a smaller one. I would not necessarily recommend the foam that they sell at the Dollar Tree for this because it's just too thin unless you plan on gluing them and stacking them. Just to get a thicker one. This is 2 millimeter in thickness, so it does have a little bit of thickness to it. The other one's just a little too thin. What are you laughing? Should hide that glue. But it's awesome. I absolutely love it. You guys know. I think I spent the other day like a whole video just talking about my love for this glue. Now I am gonna go through these and kind of search because I did notice that some of them are thinner than other ones. So what I want to use are the thickest pieces possible. For some reason they're like different thicknesses. I'm not sure quite why, but I did kind of notice that on that they're a little bit they're a little different. And then this, I'm also going to apply a piece of foam, but I have to trim this piece down to add this individually. So for right now, I'm just going to work on both the sides. And it doesn't matter what color these things are, you guys. They're going to be covered in fabric, so you're A-okay with that. I tell you, I do not lie. I do not lie. If I tell you guys that something is good, trust me, it's because it's good. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all, because there's no point in having you tell me, Carmen, I wasted $500 on this crap because you told me it was good. I would not do that to you guys. And I hope you guys don't do it to me because I believe you. I believe you guys too. So again, just applying a little bit of glue. You don't need a lot. And with this fine tip, this is Deco Art fine tip. A little bit goes a long way. One of these, this is 2 ounces, so it takes about 1.5 of these to fill one of these up, and these things will last me over a month, and I use it on absolutely everything because it's got the fine tip. Let me just make sure that I'm using, this is a little bit thicker than that. So actually I'm gonna go with the thinner one on this one. I'm gonna go with this blue one right here. Because I didn't pay attention initially and I did pick up the thinner one. I don't want them to be too different. So again, I'm gonna go right up to that score line, that natural score line that this has. And I'm just gonna put it right on there. Put it right on there. Now notice how this one has a lot more coming out than this one. But they do kind of meet up to about the same. So I think I'm going to leave them the way they are. I'm not going to trim them down just so that they are exactly the same in length. And now I'm going to do the same to the back. Now to do the back, I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer to do that. And I'm just going to measure how thick I need this to kind of be. And I'm just going to mark that there. Because it's got the little backing on it, it should be fine. Let's put this to the side. Now I just got to find my paper trimmer because Sasson hides everything now. Don't you, Sasson? You hide everything. Hi, Michelle. I'm sorry, Button Addict. Hi, how are you? What did you ask? I didn't see. I was too busy looking for my paper trimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down. And now I have a piece that is exactly the length and width that I need this to be. I'm just going to attempt to do this on this side as well. And I just hope that I have it right where I need it. I am still in a love-hate relationship with this paper trimmer, you guys, because for some reason, I sent it to San Diego and it goes to Timbuktu. So I'm going to try to fix it along the actual score line that I have. Let me do this again because I don't want to be fiddling with this too much. So I'm going to go ahead and score this again. What brand the glue was? The glue is Crafter's Square, and you can find this at your local dollar store. Now, if you don't find this and you have maybe your Dollar General next, anywhere next to you, they also sell the same one, and it's an adhesive that is used for adding embellishments. It's specifically used for embellishments. And it glues down everything from wood to metal to plastic to, everything, to fabric, like everything. I have not found something that I cannot glue down with enough time. And it dries really quick for the most part if you don't overdo it with the amount. So let's try this again. Can you lend me your paper trimmer, please? Can you lend me your paper trimmer? Por favor. I love you so much. I love you so much. I just need it for 2 seconds. No. Finders keepers. So let's see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hopefully do this in one shot. The foam is a little bit on the thicker side, and now since I don't want to play with this too much and I don't want to mess this up, I'm just going to go ahead and just remove this with a scissor because I don't want to do the same thing I did the last time and then just kind of end up messing this whole thing up. So again, the colors doesn't match. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it matches, it doesn't match. See how this is just going to fit in there? And because it's foam, you can play with it just a little bit. You don't like the scissors? Yes, darling. It's just a small size. But like I said, if you use it in a fine tip applicator, you will get the most bang for your buck. I always buy this every time I go. I usually buy 2 or 3, and I've sent it out, I think, to almost everybody that I know. Because I know that they also sell like a spray adhesive, which is nothing. It's worth a dang. It doesn't glue to save itself. Nevertheless, to save you, it doesn't work for diddly. So I would not recommend the spray glue. But the adhesive, this one right here, the embellishment glue, is perfect. And it even says it in the front. It says embellishments for glue on wood, plastic, leather, paper, cardboard, trims, everything. And it dries clear. So you can use this with your fabrics. Let's say you have a lace trim and you want to use it and it's nice and detailed and it has a lot of see-throughness to it. You can go ahead and feel good and safe about gluing this down with that, and you won't get no glue showing by the time that it's dry. It'll be seamless. I think if that company knew how much I promoted, they'd probably send me a lifetime supply. So here I'm just kind of stretching it out just a tidbit, just to make sure that it fits in nice. It doesn't necessarily have to fit in nice and snug. I just prefer that a little bit. And here we have it, and I'll remove the excess. And this is part of the reason why I add the glue on there, just to make sure that it is nice and secure. Now, I do not add the foam to the inside of it. You don't really need it so much on the inside. On the inside, you want to make sure that you have a nice stable surface in case you want to write. And sometimes writing on foam is not the best thing. It feels nice, but sometimes it'll actually help you poke through your paper as opposed to helping you, write on it. So we have that. Easy peasy, right? So far, so good. Let me put these to the side because now they're in my way. Let me get rid of all this excess crapola and get the show on the road. So let me see which is the one that I have here. This is the one that I have left over. No, it's the other one. Look how much fabric you get from a pair of pants, you guys. OMG. I could make like probably 6 or 8 of these, probably. Maybe I'm overestimating, but give or take, give or take. And I'm gonna actually use the where it was already hemmed at to kind of start this. Here I'm just gonna see how much of this fabric I'm gonna need, and then I'm gonna trim it down and remove any excess. Right? And then we're gonna have a really pretty covered. This is gonna look super cute. I can't wait to see how it comes out at the end. So that's what I'm gonna need you to help me. Just like before. I need you to hold the fabric while I trim it down. Huh? He says, huh? I'm gonna need you to help me. All right, so I'm gonna fold this. So pretty much just give it an eyeball look. If I would not really recommend that you do too much measuring when it comes to your fabrics, because there's always that if you measure it too close, there's a chance that you won't have enough fabric. So my advice to you is when you're gonna use fabric, cut a larger piece, you know, than the size that you actually need. You can always remove the excess a lot easier than you can add it back in there if you need it. So like a shower curtain. It do. These are Spanish pants, Janet. Hi, Sam. How are you? I didn't see you there, darling. It is cute though, but you know, it is a little loud and proud for my taste. All right, so hold this here. I'm showing him how we do it so that we can measure and cut fabric. No, I can't show them if the fabric is too long. My finger. I need the other scissors. We don't want another hot glue incident, right? No. Then I'll have to stop everything and get a band-aid. All right. All right. So I have my piece, and hopefully that is large enough. But if not, I always have the left side of the pair of pants, right? All right. So I'm going to do the outside first. Okay. And again, it's a lot easier to remove than it is to add. I'm just going to try to position this somewhere along there. And the good thing is about fabric is the fabric does stretch naturally on its own. So it's not like when you do it with paper that if you glue it down and you close your book, your paper goes snap and it, you know, it cracks all along the edges. You don't have to worry so much about that. I am going to go ahead though and add some glue, right, to the individual sections. Not because I have to, because you really don't have to, only because I want to, and I'm not going to add a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and just add a little bit, just a little bit, just along the edges. A little bit goes a long way with this glue. I'm just going to go right here, down this line right here. And again, it's just a little bit. We don't need that much. And now I'm going to go ahead and position this. And what I'm going to start doing is actually starting to glue down all these edges. So hopefully you guys can see what I am doing. Yes, I am sick, you guys. No bueno, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to go ahead. And remember, I left these edges here. That's fine by me. I left these edges here. Now this one, the pocket itself is going to become the pen holder for me. So I'm not going to go ahead and add a pen holder for it. But if you guys want to see a different style, which actually has like a different, you know, like a different way of doing it with a pen holder and everything, then let me know. And then somewhere along the line, I'll get that done for you guys. Sorry for the scratching, but the glue, I don't even know why I'm gluing all of this because I really don't need to glue all of this. I just need to glue this part here. Let me clean my bottle a little bit. Get a little bit more of that glue coming out. There we go. And let's get this down. So pretty much what you're going to do is just kind of stretch this out over this, right? Just kind of stretch this out. Make sure that it's, you know, nice and smooth. And you could already see it already stuck. You could already see that it's no longer trying to flip back in my face, my direction. And I'm going to go ahead and just continue to smooth that out. And hopefully I'll get to do some of the inserts in here today, you guys. But if not, then I'll do that on a separate video all by itself. And I'll just call it like part 2 or something. So if you guys want to see how I do those. For the one that I did for Janet, I printed it out. I printed out, you know, from white cardstock. I printed out, you know, a little personal saying with her name and everything on it. So you can really make these really personal if you want. I'm going to leave the ends, the sides for last. But you can already kind of see. And wherever you feel like you need a little bit more glue, then just feel free to add it. And just smooth it all out. I'm not going to worry too much about all those little hairs. You guys know me. I don't worry too much about a lot of things. So we're going to leave that as is. This has a little cut through here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually trim that end off. So I don't need all of that. So we're going to go ahead and trim that off. I think probably somewhere around here. My mom and my aunt, they were seamstress. They worked for a factory making quilts and making jeans and clothes and all types of stuff and all of those things. My aunt actually made her own wedding dress. So I grew up around people always cutting and sewing. My mom from home made curtains for a living, like bathroom curtains, like Janet was joking a few minutes ago about. So I grew up seeing all of these things around me all the time. I think most, well, not most, but a lot of immigrant women, when they come to this country, they end up getting those kinds of jobs where they're sewing, or they're working in those kinds of factories where they're, you know, building, you know, seamstress jobs, those kinds of things. So it's actually something that taught me a lot about hard work and also about the beauty of the things once they are done, because it was a lot of hard work, but their hands went into so many beautiful articles of clothing and just things that we used around the house. So it was awesome. Maybe not so awesome for them being the workers, but definitely awesome for me. I learned a lot from them, watching them do it all those years. I actually would go with them. Sometimes they would take me, and I would I had one aunt that did the overnight shift, and sometimes she would take me with her, and I would be the one running around giving everybody, you know, if they ran out of thread, if they needed this fabric, this piece, this, that, or the third, I would be working for free. Well, not for free. They used to buy me snacks and lunch and stuff like that, but you could consider that payment, right? It used to be a lot of fun. They used to have a ball. So you see how smooth that already starts to kind of come out? I'm going to start removing some of the excess on the sides, but you see how fast it literally can come together? We've already done most of this. So I'm just going to remove some of this excess here, and then we're going to do the inside cover. Now for the inside, this is what I do to the corners. Once I get this down, I leave the corners, you know, kind of open so that I can stretch them out and kind of bring them out like so that it's a little bit more flush with the corner. But once I glue these little pieces down. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same here. And I'm going to push this over like so. Now don't overstretch the fabric. because you don't want it to tug at the glue. You want to stretch, stretch it out a certain amount because you want it to be nice and smooth over, but don't tug so much at the fabric that you're putting a strain on your glue. Just like if you put stitches, if you tug so much at it, you're gonna pop the stitches. So you want to make sure that even though you are smoothing out your fabric and you're stretching out your fabric, you're doing it in somewhat of a natural way where it's in a natural position. Hi, Jackie. I know they call them sweatshops. I know. I'm not promoting. I'm not promoting. Trust me. But somebody works in one of those factories today. I'm sure that they didn't go out of business because we still got quilts and we still got sheets and we still got curtains for our houses. So a big shout out to all those people that do those jobs still to this day. Because of you guys, we have beautiful things in our homes, and they might be underappreciated, but I appreciate them. I appreciate all their work. So I'm going to trim this down just a little bit because I don't need that much, right? I have most of my corner pretty much covered. And again, I'm just going to kind of push this onto itself. So I'm going to glue behind it. I'm going to add some glue behind it, under it, right, on both sides, so that when I stretch this over the corner, it has somewhere to go, has something to hold on to it. And I'm just going to push this down like so. Now, you don't want it to be right up on your edge because you're going to be covering your edge and you don't want those little peaks to pop out. So you want to do it so that they're kind of at a diagonal. Is that how you say it? So that they're kind of pointing towards the other opposite corner. And just adding your glue. And see how fast that gets nice and flat? If you got to remove anything, feel free to remove it. Don't worry so much about it. Just do it. Just do it, you guys. Just do it. So here we are. That was a little bulky, which is why I removed that little piece right there. It was too much fabric for my liking. And there we go. See? Nice and smooth. Now to do the same thing for the bottom ends. Who? Me? Yes and no. No to the stealing them from especially from a victim on the street. Lord help me. I think if anything, I would give these to a victim on the street. Not so much take them from them. No, no, no. And again on the back. So you just want to make sure that you do it on both sides in the center. And remember, this is Dollar Glue, you guys. You can go ham if you want to and splurge, right? It won't be too bad. I'm going to remove the little excess that I feel like I won't need. At this point in time, it's just all kind of getting it together. And add glue wherever you feel that you need to add glue. Let me know if I'm out of frame, you guys, so that I can move myself in a little bit. I thought this would be a fun little thing to do with you guys today. And by the way, once this glue sticks, you guys, it does not come up. So don't rush through your projects, especially when using this kind of glue, because it does stick down very well. And it will give you a hard time to get it back up again. None of this is going to show. So, you can leave the dirty part, the messy parts for this. So we have our two corners nicely rounded. And I didn't even round the paper, you guys. As you saw, I didn't even round the papers, but it naturally rounded itself by doing this technique this way. If you want your corners pointy, then you'll have to do it a different way. And here I'm going to remove this excess here on this side. And I'm going to guesstimate that I'm leaving myself about 1 inch, give or take, on each end. Then we're going to do the same thing. And then our cover is pretty much done. I leave the holes and the poking of the holes for the very last thing to do. I built the whole entire thing first. Um, I used to watch a lot of people making these, but I always watch people that made them from paper. And I've made a few of them from paper myself. They're on my channel if you want to watch. I call mine Ella Dori because of Elemental Designs. So yes, I'm very plain Jane in that department as well, Deb. I am. I can deal with a loud kind of shirt, if you will. Like, and by loud I mean something that has prints or patterns on a shirt. But my not so much my pants, because the shirt I can hide with a jacket and a sweater. But not so much my pants. I think I'm a little traumatized from watching my aunt with them hot pinks, spandex back in the 90s. So I was like, God, please remind me, do not turn into my aunt when I get old. I couldn't deal. And my mom is another one. She used to wear the flower shirts with the striped pants. Like, what? Where did this outfit come from? Somebody burn it. But now I laugh. They no longer dress like that. I've gotten rid of all her clothes and gave her fresh wardrobe. I was like, no, no, no. And we're going to church. Like, what? No, we're not. Not today. The Lord will understand. You can't be in there distracting everybody. But yes, this is why I call these Spanish pants, because of the loud Spanish prints. And then we're going to have something that's going to hold it all closed. But see, nothing to do. Good to go. Very easy, you guys. Literally very, very easy. You could do these with your shirts. You can do these with your pants. It doesn't necessarily have to be pants. You can do this with skirts. What's important here, I think, is the material, and that the material is not too thin, I would say, or is not too easy to break down. Like satin would be okay, but if you're going to use something like satin that would tear easily, I would recommend that you maybe back it with a different fabric as well, or use some kind of backing for it, and not just put on that fabric on its own. Oh my God. I've never done the QVC thing. I don't think I've ever ordered anything from QVC as much as I order online. I've been tempted to, though, because sometimes they have such nice things. All right, let me remove some excess. So wherever I feel like I'm struggling with a little tiny piece, especially when it comes to getting these corners in there, I just remove it. I remove the obstacle and make my life easier. And again, this glue is very good for a quick drying. So you can actually have your traveler's notebook up and running in a day if you wanted to. So this is it for the outside. Pretty easy, right? And it opens and it closes, not a problem. I'm going to be adding a little latch to this to keep it, nice and sturdy and closed. So now we're going to do the inside. Now for the inside, you do have to be just a little bit more careful, only because we're going to be, adding this on the inside of this, and we don't want these frilled edges kind of showing. So I'm going to show you how I do it, how I get these in there. So first thing I'm going to do is get myself a nice piece of fabric. And again, I'm going to eyeball it and see how much I need. And then I'm going to trim it down to size. And I'm going to leave myself a little bit, but I don't want as much fabric as I had before. So I'm not going to trim out as much. So just give me a second and let me trim this down. I'm going to come over here to the other side and get this going. Hopefully I did good. Let's see. Hopefully I did good. All right. I think that this will work. It looks like. All right. So what I'm gonna do with this, in order to get this down, let me trim a little bit of this sides here. I'm gonna try to get this center kind of going right. I'm gonna get the two centers kind of right where I need them to be. And then I'm gonna just trim a little bit off each side. Just make sure, trim a little bit off each side. Let me put this back in here just so that I maintain this nice and flowy. And where did I put my scissors? All right, so that's a good amount there. So I'm just gonna, again, just kind of eyeballing it. It's better to have too much than too little. And I'm gonna flip this over and I'll do the same thing to the other side. And there we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, since this print is kind of like all over the place, it doesn't matter which side is up, which side is down. You can pick that side with these kinds, you know, with this print. Once you go to add your pocket, then you decide what side you want it to be up or what side you want it to be down. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna add some glue. Right along the top. You see, it's not that much. It looks like a lot, but it's really not that much because it's really, really thin. And what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna stick it this way, right? Because we want it to be all kind of flush. So we want our edges this way. So then when we fold it over, we have a nice clean, you know, edge coming down. And we're gonna actually glue all of this down so it won't be too bad. And now let's go ahead and do this. Hi, Isabel. Let me just remove my notifications. They keep popping up on my screen and I can see what you guys are saying. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go to work. And we want to glue down. We don't want any glue on the edges here. We want those edges, you know, your score lines. We want those free. So I'm going to leave this part here for last. Then I'm going to go right into the center and do the same thing and apply some here. So I'm going to leave this part for last so that I can tuck it in and fold it over. And right on that fabric. So make sure you get right on that fabric. All the corners and stuff I'm going to leave for last, and the final two edges I'm going to leave for last. Because those is going to take a little bit of manipulation to kind of get them in. You don't have to go too crazy with the glue here, you guys. You just have to get it on. So now that this is there, just want to make sure that it is nice and smooth out. You kind of hand iron it, if you will. You know, you smooth it out. And you can also use multi-fabrics for this. You don't have to use this like this. You can use a different color on the inside depending on what you want to do. All right, so we have that going. Now I'm gonna grab, you guys, this. I'm gonna fold these edges over. But I think I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit more. It's a little bit too much, especially for the corners, for tucking in these corners. It's a little too much. So. And I'm sorry if I'm not looking too much at what you guys are talking about. I'm trying to, you guys, but I also have to kind of see what I'm doing over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold this over like so. So you guys can see, I'm gonna fold this over like so. And the corners is the last thing I'm gonna worry about, you guys, because this I'm gonna tuck in, maybe with like a skewer or something, and then just seal it tight. So that the corners is the last thing that you worry about. So don't worry so much about these. Just make sure that your seam lines are nice and clean and right up on there. This is the time that if you wanted to add, let's say you wanted to add something to close it on the other side, if you want to leave this open, you can go ahead and attach whatever it is that you're going to use on the inside and then close it down with your fabric. I'm not going to do that on this one, but that's something that you have the option to do if you so wish to do. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add my glue. And again, I'm going to leave the corners free so that I can do some tucking in there. I'm just going to add glue all the way up to the top. All the way up to the top. And again, this glue dries clear, so it's no issue. If you get a little bit of glue where you're not supposed to, don't freak out. So again, I'm going to fold this over, right? And I'm going to add this in there, like so. I'm going to push up right against that edge and just keep folding it in and adding right up against that edge. And there you go. And there you have it. No sewing. Good to go. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side while that's drying, and then I'll work on the bottoms and do the same exact thing. So let me go ahead and trim this a little bit, just in case I have too much. You want to have enough to play with, but you don't want to have so much that you end up, you know, with all this bulky fabric tucked in, looking like a little pillow. I mean, unless that's what you want to do. You can go ahead and do that too. And again, I'm going to go ahead and add glue all along this edge here. I'm going to peel this back just a smidge so that I have some room to play with. And I'm going to go ahead and just add glue all the way around. Bypassing these corners. Now, I will have a speed through of this video later on the channel, because I know sometimes people can't sit for the whole 3 hours. So you can feel free to come and check that out. Or if you want to use it for like your own little reference later on, by all means. That's why I do these, so that you guys can see and also try yourself, you know. Make your own. So I'm going to fold this over again, and I'm just going to try to make sure that I measure up with where the fold is, where the line closes right here. So I'm just going to bring this up just like so that it's nice and leveled. Now just close this up. And like that. Voila! Almost done, you guys. Almost done. After this part is done, all I have left to do is glue on my pockets, one on each side, which are going to be these right here. One here, and one here. Well, one here and one here. And this is going to be the pen holder. And also, if you want to put anything else in there, you can go ahead and put anything else in there. And I will add other embellishments to this so that this doesn't look crazy, you know, like all this print. Because right now my eyes are like, like all over the place. Excuse me, you guys. The fast one will have all the coffee and take it out of it. And I'll do a voiceover just to, re-explain. Hey, darling. How you doing, Liz? Thank you for stopping by. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to trim off some of this excess because it's way too much. We don't need all that. It's just better to start off with a lot. But once you start doing them, you'll see more or less how much you really need, depending on how much give your fabric has. These pants were a little stretchy, of course, right? They were a little stretchy, so I knew that I had a little bit of give. But if your fabric is not the stretchy type, then definitely a good idea to start with more and work your way down to less. That way, you didn't do all of that for nothing. So I'm going to do the same thing and go ahead and just reapply. And these will be great for like planners, regular travelers, regular art journals, regular journals, all different kinds of things. When I make my books, the way I make them now, not the way I used to make them before, I no longer bind them together. I no longer, use a staple. I no longer sew them together. I no longer do any of that. I score and fold and put it in there because you know what? When I run out of that paper, I can just score and fold some more paper and I could keep my covers and bang, put it in there, good to go. No need to worry. And the same thing if you're giving it to somebody as a gift, it is easier for them instead of having to always, make, new paper or buy new paper or make books. It's just easier for them to just score and fold and tuck. That's it. And you are good to go. So here we are. And this is pretty much the last bit of this. Just going to make sure that this is nice and tight. If I got to add more glue, I shall add more glue. If you want to get fancy and you don't want to do all of this folding and you want to do some sewing, then by all means, go ahead and sew all of your edges together. Make sure that you have them in the proper dimension. And then just glue and stick and you are good to go. For this, I am just going to be gluing. Now, another way that you can do this is once you know what your measurements are, then fold over your edges, glue them to the fabric itself, and then stick that onto here so you don't have to be folding and sticking the whole time that you're doing it. I've also done it that way and it creates the same effect. So this is good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little skewer here. I'm going to grab these edges, right? And I'm going to start sticking these in there. You can do this with whatever you have. You don't need a skewer exactly to do this. And pretty much tucking that in, gluing that down. And that's all that I'm doing on this one. And that is going to be the same for all the other corners as well. Just make sure you put a nice amount of glue on here so you are good to go. And nothing is coming undone. Okay. Easy peasy, corners done. See? I go with it. Let me see. I'm gonna trim this off just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. And I'm gonna apply the glue onto the corner itself. Make sure you get in there nicely. I'm gonna apply it on all the folds that naturally create themselves on the corner of the fabric. So just kind of adding glue all over the place here. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Grabbing my little skewer here and holding the little tip inward, like so, folding the little tip inward, right? And then just making sure that everything else is in there nicely. And just holding down, pushing it and holding down. And there you go. Very easy. Very, very easy, you guys. Very, very easy. And fast too. I've already got 2 corners down. You see? It is easy. It really is. Trust me. It really is. As long as you leave your corners for last, just don't put in these sections here, don't put no glue. When you add your fabric, and then you could just grab any stick, any poking tool that you have, and then just apply a lot of glue and then literally just manipulate the corner into place and you'll be good to go. Again, notice how I have this little peak right here. I'm going to remove that peak so that I don't have to fight through so much fabric, right? So I got rid of that. Naturally just kind of roll it in there a little bit, right? I'm going to add some glue and add glue onto the folds. Just wherever the fabric seems to fold, add glue under it, in it, over it, wherever. Just add a lot of glue. Not a lot, but you know what I mean. Like, make sure you got that glue everywhere. And then you just kind of manipulate the corner. And what's great about this glue is that you don't have to do much. I want this to come out just a little bit right here. So that it's not so recessed all the way pushed back. Hold that in. We're good to go. We are good to go, you guys. We are in business. And it's almost 7. So I think I will have time to do some inserts with you guys. Pick some paper for this bold print, right? Maybe add some different fabrics, different things to make this a little bit more, bring this to the background, bring something else to the foreground, so that it's not so loud and proud. Loud and proud is good, but you don't want every time you take out your book for everybody to just gravitate towards it. So here we go again, adding some fabric, some glue to the corners. I removed a little bit of that peak in there. I'm putting glue all around this, and I hope that you guys can see. I'm putting glue all around this on the outside, the inside, so that everything is nice and flat. You can also feel free to hold them down with some clips, some binder clips if you feel the need to, in case you're not using this glue or something else. Go ahead and do that if you need. And again, just tucking it in so that it kind of curves onto itself. Smoothing it out. Depending on the fabric, this one's trying to be a little bit of, it's always the last one, right, you guys? This one's trying to be a little bit of a booger. But is it all rolled up on the inside? Let me just take it back out again and do it again. It started gluing onto itself before I even put it in. You know what? Let me clip this a little bit. Maybe it's just too much for that little spot. So let me just remove a little bit of that excess there. and add more glue because this glue does dry very quickly. I'm gonna add more glue to the both pieces and do this again. And then just kind of roll that in there. There we go. That feels a little bit better. My little stubborn corner. There we go. Got it. I got you, babe. Dun-dun-dun. I got you, babe. So my corners are stuck, you guys. There it goes. All right, so let's close our glue for a second and start gathering some of the other things that we're going to be able to use. I'm thinking that I'm going to apply, I don't know yet. So let's see what I have. Let's see what I have. I want to add these pockets, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably fold this over like so that it has a nice clean edge on the top. And then apply them this way. But I want to apply some other stuff to this, right? Because we might as well. And then I'll show you guys if I have enough time. I'll show you guys how to you know, string it and everything else. So let's see. Let me pull out some fabric. You know what? I still have some of this trim, so maybe I can use some of this trim right here. Some of this black one right here. I think I'm going to use some of that. What else do I have in here? What else do I have in here? Ooh, let's get fancy. Let's get fancy, you guys. Let's get fancy. Let's see. Maybe some of this. Ooh, what you think, guys? What you think? It's my bag of black. My bag of black. Oh my God, you guys. I hope you're all okay. Thank you, Debbie. So I think I'm gonna probably use this. And what do I have in here? Let's see what I have in here. What other goodies pop out, right? Because we gotta break away some of this. So let's bring out a little black rosette there. I have 2 of them. So I think I'll add that. And we'll see what else kind of comes out. So look at that, you guys. Less than an hour to build it. And that's with, you know, trimming down most of the fabric. Less than an hour to build it. So that's pretty quick, I would say. Once you get it down, you can literally bang these out, especially if you already have your fabrics kind of already sized up and your, you know, your cardboards and stuff like that already sized up. Then I think you can really bang these out rather quickly. And since you don't have to use any hot glue or anything like that, and you're just using, you know, regular, you know, kind of glue, then you can do this a lot faster. So I'm gonna bring out, I think, a lot of my those kinds of embellishments in black, those trims in black. I think that I'm gonna do that to cover up a lot of this very bold and loud print. I'm gonna go ahead and glue on my pockets so that I can at least have those things in there. And this is what I was telling you before. What you can do is go ahead and just glue these down. You can also probably use, you know, like tacky glue and stuff like that, but those are a little bit more expensive, you know, to replenish. These, you know, if you can find them at your Dollar Tree, they're very affordable. And you might not worry so much about using, you know, whatever amount you need because, you know, they're cheap. They're great quality, but inexpensive to buy. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. Now, what I don't have is black elastic. Bummer. I don't have black, green, or white. So I'm going to see what kind of elastic I use on this. What I did before is I actually painted the elastic. I used my metallic luster in the espresso color. That's what I did for Janet's, and that's how I made it brown. So I used that, you know, I kind of passed it through a few times, wet it up and pass it through, let it dry, and that's how I ended up with that brown. Wait, I did this wrong. Quick, quick. I need this here, not there. This is where the pocket naturally folds. So I'm going to put that there instead. All right, so we got that. So now we have it where it naturally stays at. But I think I'm going to do something to this wherever I'm going to put this at. And I think I'm going to add something to this. Just trying to see what I add, actually. Do I have enough for both? All right, so maybe I can actually add that on the pocket itself and not so much on the background. All right, so now that I have this there, I'm going to really glue this whole little piece that I folded over nicely, because I don't want that opening itself up once the person's putting stuff inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, you did, Liz? That's awesome. Right? They're fun to make and easy too. They're not that hard. I think the most complicated part of it is if you start incorporating like sewing and, you know, all those other things. But if you're just using glue, you're good to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce this again one more time, just by adding a little bit there, and just going to add. Now you can go ahead and use hot glue if you want to. I just find that hot glue is a little bulky, and you end up feeling all these bumps of glue that dry uneven. And I personally do not like that too much. So I think this is how this is going to go. Or like this. I think like this. Oops, let me cut this little corner off before I glue this down. Actually, I got a little piece right here that I don't need showing. Now I can go ahead and kind of glue this there. Where do I want this? I want this right here. All right, so I figured out where I want this. Doesn't interfere with my folding. And I'm gonna go ahead and see how many of these I do need. And I need about that many. So I'm gonna trim this here. I wanted to do something different on today's live, and when I saw these again, I was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I gotta do something with this, because hubby was like, this is garbage, right? And I was like, no. He was like, what you mean? No, nobody's gonna wear this. And I'm like, I know. I know nobody's gonna wear it, but we gotta do something. I gotta do something with them. I just feel bad throwing this stuff out. And I wouldn't want to see anybody wearing these. So I didn't want to donate them. I know that's so bad. All right, so I got this. We have our little pocket here. So I'm gonna let this dry so that this pocket can be manipulated. That way I'm not fighting putting this thing back on every 2 seconds. And we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And again, I'm just gonna add some glue where I believe the natural fold of this is gonna be, right where those stitches are. And I'm gonna add some glue here, add some glue right along that edge. Hola Barbie, ¿cómo tú estás, chula? And I think that about does that. And press this down nicely, so make sure you press down. You know, smooth it out, make sure that everything is what you want it to be. If you see any little excess peaks that you don't want and or need, then trim them down. I should have done that the first time, which is why before I glued it down, I was like, oh no, I got a little piece right there. Make sure you get all The little hairs, the little nylon pieces that come out. I almost thought that my corner came undone, but it didn't, so that's a good thing. And then we're gonna go ahead and add glue and be generous. Not overly generous. You don't want this thing drying for 15 days and a night, but be generous enough. Good night, Deb. Thanks for joining. Awesome sauce. I can't wait to see it. So you guys, we're almost there. And I'm going to try to keep it somewhat leveled, I think, to where I got the other one. And just making sure that everything on here is glued. And that I got a good amount of glue on everything. As long as you got a good amount of glue and your seal is tight, it will not come undone, you guys, unless you literally rip it apart. Make sure that's good to go. Now to grab this right here and get that off. Then I'm just going to let this kind of dry while I start figuring out what I'm going to do to my front. There we go. Voila. So now you know where your pockets are because I've marked them with the flowers. See flowers over here and over here? Yes, they're marked. So we got that going. And you can add other stuff in here if you want. I mean, if you wanted to get a little bit fancier, which I am very tempted to do. Honestly, I am very tempted just to go fancy. But this trim is so, it's not that it's odd, it's very pretty. But it will be hard for me, I think. Oh, maybe I can add these flowers on here. Ooh, maybe. Maybe I can add the flowers. One flower on each side. Carmen, what do you think, guys? One flower on each side? I think one flower will do. Muchas gracias, mi amiga. Muchas gracias. Good night, Janet. I'll talk to you later, love. So now I'm going to go ahead and add these flowers, right? I think that these flowers will give it a nice little touch. So I'm going to go ahead and add these flowers here. It is just awesome when you can do everything with one tool. All you need is scissors and glue, fabric, cardboard. That's it. Well, and foam. If you want to add the foam. The foam is optional. I just use it, like I said, because I feel like it'll protect it, the cardboard that's underneath, in case I do put it somewhere wet. Because, you know, water is invisible, you guys. For the most part, you can feel it, but most of the time you can't see it. And so I just feel like it'll protect my cardboard. Because once that cardboard goes to, you know, goes to Hades, if you will, it's a wrap. All right, so I'm going to just add this little thing right here. Oh my God, Vidal Sassoon. Who remembers the Vidal Sassoon? Yeah, I glued them down, but when I removed them from the pants, I removed them with the back on it. I removed the whole pocket spot. So, let me see if I find something here. So actually, you can, see? You have all that room in there. You can go ahead and stick your brushes. Your spatulas. Let's see if I can close this pen. Your pens. Your papers. What else you want me to stick in there? Your craft knife. What else can we fit in there? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. How many more? How many more? What else can we do? Scissors. So you can store a lot of things. See? You know. The cardboard itself will start to get a little bit more flexible the more you use it. So you'll end up with a little bit more flex on it, which will allow you to kind of, it'll start curving a little bit and getting more into that style of it being curvy, the more stuff that you put into it. But as you can see, you can store everything and its mother in here. So let's get all this stuff out. We don't need all of this in there. Then I end up giving away my tools. I can't hands that. I can't hands that, you guys. I can't do it. I can't do it. So here we go. The next flower. And if I spend my whole time embellishing this, then I'll do the books another time. But I will at least poke the little holes in, I think. Because we're in good timing, you guys. I did this actually rather quick. To be this far, usually I'm nowhere near this this part of the craft that I'm doing when I'm going live. Usually I'm still either mixing paint or preparing my canvas or looking for what I'm gonna use, right? But I wanted to do something different today. And these are so fun to make. And I love that you can make them so personal. Let me just see where I put this one so that I can kind of try to get them, give or take, the same spot, right? And I just want to make sure that this is nicely put down. So if I need to add glue anywhere, I can go ahead and do that before it all dries. And that should be good. I'll probably add maybe some bling on here on these little flower centers just to give it a nice little sparkle on the inside. As long as it's not something that is so bulky, I'll probably do something to the center of each of these little flowers just to give it a little shine, and maybe to the center of these flowers just to make it pop a little bit. But already something was super, super busy is already starting to break down a little bit. It's still super busy, but now it brings your attention, not so much to the flower print, but now it brings your attention to the little flower pieces in the center, which is a nice touch. So now for this cover, you guys, let's see. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I think this kind of goes like this. I don't even know, you guys. Let's see how I do this. How I do this, you guys. Yes, I cut the whole pocket out. So I left that fabric that was already attached to the pocket, the actual fabric, you guys know what I mean. I just cut around it. So I left that pocket intact. I didn't cut the stitches or nothing. And then I just glued that onto the surface itself. So when you saw me folding that over, that white part of it was actually the back of the pocket itself. So let's see here. Vamos a ver qué podemos hacer. I don't know if I have enough of this trim. This is all I have left over, you guys, from the Spooktacular. I think I have enough. I'm going to use this one right here, I think. So let me get this going. Before I add this one, I'm going to add this one. The question is, how am I going to add this one? Let's see. Let's see. Carmen, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? In the words of my mother, what's the matter con yuca, huh? What do I want to do? Do I want to like so? I wonder. I wonder. This is double-sided, but I'm going to add glue to this. I just want to see what it looks like. And if this is something that I actually want to do. Because I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I actually might want to do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start trimming and gluing. Yes. I got that, you know, at that online place where we get those crafty deals. Starts with an E, ends with eh. I got that there. 99 cents a yard, you guys. 99, 99. All right, so I'm gonna do this, making sure that I don't go over that edge. Then I'm gonna go and apply the other side. And let's see. Ugh, sticky tape. I have another one, but I'm gonna try to see if I can find it because I think this one's a little too big. I think the other, I don't know if I used it all. I might have used it all because I did add quite a bit of it. I think I did use it all. I know I'm talking to myself, but I think I did use it all on my spooktacular decoration, my little altered cemetery box. I had a lot of that trim on there on the sides. I kind of don't like how this looks now that I put it on there. I liked it the first time, but I don't like it so much the second time around. I don't want to see all of that white edge, so that's kind of annoying me. So we'll see. We'll see. Where's my Caesar? Yes, darling. That place. That place. So I'm gonna do the top and I'm gonna do the bottom, and then if I have any lefts over, then I'll probably do, which I think I will. I'll probably do the top. You know, the right down the center there. Right down the center of the spine. So I'm gonna grab some glue again and add this all in there. Get that all in there, and I will be adding something to these corners because I don't want this to just be all dropped off like that, looking thrown in the corner there. Stay in the corner. No, I don't want to stay in the corner. So yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna try to get this as low to the edge as I possibly can muster, if you will. As low to the edge as I can get it. As low to the edge as I can get it. Right there. Boom, boom, pow. And trim, trim. So starting to come together, right? And let's go ahead and add a little bit of that here. Right in the center. Right on the spine. Just make sure we get a nice amount of glue there. I'm going to go ahead and clip these two ends together so that I make sure that this is nice and flush. And let's see. I'll make sure I get this exactly where I need this. And let's see. Yes, it is. I had no idea why I bought it, to be honest with you, because I'm not really the fancy type. Which way are my pockets? Sugar and spice and everything nice. Which way are my pockets? So they're this way. I want that trim facing a certain direction. And so I want the little loop-de-loops to go facing upward. Got a whole bunch of little threads that got stuck in there. Let's lift this up one more time. This one up here. And let's try to get that in there. Where's my stick? Wrong end. I'll try to just kind of stick that into that. And a little piece of anything that wants to lift up, you just glue it down. Yes, it is. You just have to kind of look around. That is why that is my one-stop spot to buy everything that's hot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that this is nicely adhered there. All right, you guys, so it's coming along, right? Looking good. Let me see. Let me do a quick check-in to see if I find any other black trim inside of my little box of trims here. If not, then I'll figure out how I'm gonna use this. But I don't ever want to use this on this, to be honest with you. I really like it, and I might actually, because I think I just found a way that I want to use it. I like it like that, and then I can just get this clip out of here. Get out of here, annoying clip. Stop holding me back. We can just, these little pieces right here, I can just kind of put it over. So it actually adds even more interest to the back. I think I found it, you guys. I think I found it. I'm not going to look for nothing. I think I'm going to do it like that. Right? I think I'm going to do it like that. I think that looks beautiful. And I still have the print, and I still have a lot of it, but I've lost a lot of it, which is like, yay. So like that, right? Yay, like that. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see, you guys. Let's see how we do this. I'm going to wrap a lot of this around. So I'm thinking I'm going to, let me see what's on this here. Let me fold this in half so that I can trim both ends exactly the same. So I want to be able to trim both ends exactly the same so that I have the same exact pattern on both ends as much as I possibly can, which I know is not the easiest thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, we are, pero ella acaba de salir. She just gave birth. I don't know if you know. She just gave birth. She was in the hospital. She literally just, and by the way, Mayra, if you're watching this later, darling, congratulations on your newborn baby. She's absolutely adorable. Her name is Angela. She just had a beautiful baby girl, and she is recovering because they did have to, you know, do what they do to get it out. But she's here, and she's beautiful and healthy. So just give her a little bit of time. Just give her, like, you know, a few days. She'll definitely get that going. So I'm just gonna trim this to try to get them as similar as possible. And then anything that I need to get rid of later, then I'll get rid of later. I think that's how I'm gonna do this, right? So my pockets right set up. Yeah. Yeah, she actually sent me a text with a baby's picture. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's so cute. I love babies. So we're gonna do this like this. We're gonna do this like this. Yay. You see? Perseverance, you guys. Perseverance, right? So let's get some glue on this baby. And I'm going to glue down all of these things. But you know what? For this, I think I'm going to actually go for my other glue, which is a tacky glue. Because I'm going to be doing this forever with this fine tip. So hopefully my other glue will work with me. Hopefully. This is a bigger gauge. This is the Dana, what is it? Dana Weekly. This is the other fine tip by a different company. But the cap itself only fits her products. But what I did is that I took the cap off and I put it on a different one. So I took the little nozzle. It's a bigger gauge. It's way bigger, like the whole humongous. So hopefully I can get some of this glue out because this is the Elmer's Craft Bond Tacky Glue. It's extremely thick. So I'm just gonna see if I can get some of this glue out. Boy, I'm gonna be squeezing. Maybe not. Maybe I can get it out. All right, so let's put that there for now. And maybe I can just squeeze this out. I hope I'm doing this on the right side. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, we are, darling. I thought you was talking about, you said fairy jar, didn't you? Or you said Christmas jar. I'm sorry, I read the wrong thing. I read fairy jars. That just goes to show you where my mind is right now. Yes, I put you with Crystal. So just make sure that you let her know so that you guys can agree on whatever date. Because I know she emailed me the other day wondering what was going on. But I told her you was going to email her. So if you haven't done so, darling, por favor, mándale un email. And just let her know what day is good for you. If you need more time, just let her know that too. Because I know you're going through you're going through what you're going through right now. So I didn't divulge. I didn't speak about your situation specifics to anybody, including her. So it's up to you, But just let her know, like, if you need more time, just let her know that you need more time. I'm sure she'll be okay with that. Oh, Dios mío, this takes forever. This takes forever, you guys. Oh my God, even with the bigger gauge, because this glue is so thick. I still would not recommend, though, you hot gluing it. I just don't like what it does. I personally don't like hot glue, period. So if I can find an excuse not to use it, then I use it. And I mean, not the glue. I use the excuse. I just personally cannot stand it. Not only does it burn your fingers, it leaves a hot mess. And I probably should have measured out 2 pieces of this before I went and started gluing this one, but oh well, I forgot. So I'll be eyeballing it again. And that's if I add this to the back. Maybe I don't add this to the back because this is a lot of work to put this glue on there. So I think I'm going to do that, and then whatever else I need to glue out, I'll glue after. Just make sure at least I get these pieces nice and glued in. I know how this glue dries, so I'm hoping that it dries clear. That's why I'm trying not to get it into none of the other little nooks. But I don't know how this glue dries up overall. I will be pissed if this does not dry clear. My brother brought this glue to me the other day when he came by. He was like, look, I found the box of crafts. Do you want it? I was like, what? He brought me a whole bunch of envelopes that were left over from when he did his wedding and stuff. So they just had like all these different things there. This is the right side of the pocket. So He knows that I can pretty much make something out of just about anything. So he brought me the stuff. He brought me the goods, you guys. He brought me the goods. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of tap this into place, I guess. And I'm gonna work on these kind of gluing down over, right? And again, I'm gonna attempt to glue these over like so. So this would be like nice decoration for the corners, because it'll actually cover my corners up a little bit well. I think I'm gonna go back to my tried and true, because that is like a what? I need to add water to that thing or something. This glue, at least, I mean, it comes out a little bit, but it comes out fast, so I don't have to worry so much about it. And I know for a fact it's gonna dry clear when I'm all done. So let's wrap this up and put this there. So even though you'll see it white or it'll push through your fabrics, and you'll see that white, don't worry about that. It will dry clear. No fret, my pet. You shall have success. Gonna stick these in there. Ay, pero qué belleza, Jesús bendito. Oh my God. Lord, what you doing to me? I can't take it. I can't take it. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Y yo creo que ese hook, I'm gonna take that hook out. Well, you don't have to do a VR. You don't have to do. The only video that I expect you guys to do when it comes to the jar swaps is the actual, when you receive her jar, then do a video showing her work. When she receives your jar, then she needs to do a video showing your work. And then that way, but she don't have to do a VR. The reason that Judy did hers, she did a VR because she was doing a VR for somebody else, so she just showed both things at once. But a VR, specifically a VR, is not required and or necessary. I just want you guys to showcase each other's talent. That's pretty much what the jars are all about. I'm still waiting for the fairy jar. I'm still waiting on 2 people that need to do videos that they haven't done videos and they already received their stuff from each other, which is Liz and her partner. They haven't done videos yet. I don't think they've done videos yet. Did she? No. Which I think is I think it was Dana, if I'm not mistaken. Dana was Liz's partner. So only them 2 have videos to do. And I have this fairy jar, which is the fairy jar that I made, that I want to give away to one of you guys, because it's only for the people that did the fairy jars, but I'm waiting for them to put up their videos so that I can go ahead and do the drawing for that. That's the only thing that's holding me up on that. Because I know Dana put it in, she posted hers on Instagram when she got hers from this. But I'm still waiting for the both of them to come on YouTube and do their videos, their video shares. Gracias, Isabel. Isn't it right? So look at this crazy loud, right? This crazy loud bold print. And here we are attaching a little things here and there. And now it is like, what? Did I just make that? So I'm just gonna add glue here and there wherever I can. So the little pieces that kind of hang. And whatever doesn't work for me, I'll just get rid of. This is a lot of detail. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this here. I think, what did I do with the other one? I think I'm going to just kind of clip that there. And I'm going to clip that there. And leave that like that right there. And I'll probably, if anything, just add something else to that. Let me get these little squares. Get these little squares on there. This thing has so many like little intricate pieces. But it's cool because at the same time, it kind of helps keep the book together. Kind of help keeps the whole thing together. So just adding a little drop of glue in the center of all these little, because it's got like a little checkered design on it. So I'm just gonna add a little drop of glue. All of these designs, little elements here and there. And I'm not gonna worry about gluing every little aspect of this down. I'm just gonna worry about getting the main pieces down. Hopefully it won't be hooking to anything. But if I need to add more glue, I can always go back into it and add more glue after. I just want to make sure that these stay down for now. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh, Isabel's breathtaking. Oh my God, girl, you're making me blush. You're making me blush, Isabel. You're making me blush. Such a strong word. I wanted to do something different today, and I think I accomplished it. I think I accomplished it, you guys, because it don't get more different than this, right? I don't think I've ever done anything like this specifically with you guys before. This is, I think this is actually my first time doing one of these fabric covered journals. I tried to do the paper ones before, but that was a hot minute ago. That was a while ago, you guys. All right, so I'm all in. Let's see, let's see. Get it nice and flat. And this glue dries so fast, you guys. Literally, it's like a 1, 2, 3, and you're done. Now my whole thing is just to make sure that every little piece of this that needs to be glued down gets glued down. And everything is copacetic. If you gotta use a clip, then use a clip if you need to. I might use a clip on some of these little stubborn squares. Maybe I don't need to. It's like some of them are being a little stubborn. Some of these little squares are being just a little bit stubborn, you guys. Thank you, my darling. You guys use way more fabric in your arts and crafts than I do, so I take that to the heart. That means a lot to me. Because I use fabrics here and there, but you guys are way more advanced in the fabric using department. Way more advanced than me on that level. So let's see. I think that this is good to go. And it covered up my inside. I got my cute little pocket there. I don't know. I'm going to probably see what I'm going to add here in the back. Maybe I'll just add some trim in the back so that it's not so busy. And just leave this in the front like this, right? Save this piece for maybe something else to do with that. This is Rick Rack. Let's see. Oh, here is the other trims. This is the other trims. I think you guys have seen this probably before. But this is way too busy. That'll just catch. That'll just get caught up in anything and everything that you add in there. But I could have added this to like the pocket. That would have been cute. But that's a little bit too dangly for my taste. Especially like on a book. So, now. I'm out of these, you guys. I gotta order more. I need more. All right. So I think maybe this trim right here, because it kind of matches the whole loop-de-loop effect of what this border trim is. So I'm gonna go for this one, and I'll show you what this one looks like now. It's an altered project, so it still kind of falls into the whole me doing altered projects category, right? Yes, yes, yes. right? And instead of throwing them pants out, look what I did. Now I could do like 3 or 4 of them. Now I don't know if I'm gonna do 3 or 4 of these because honestly, you guys, this is too loud for me to be staring at this print for like another hour. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. So I think I'm gonna just leave this kind of plain like that. I think that'll kind of work for me. Leaving that like so, right? And it kind of matches the theme of the front with the loop-de-loops. I'm gonna leave that like that. I like how this kind of shows through, just a little bit. I like how that kind of that effect that gives it right there. I really like that a lot. Did I glue these down? No. Jesus, you see how you forget to do things? You forget steps. You forget steps, you guys. Make sure that you glue down all your little sections because I forgot a step. I forgot a step, you guys. But super cute nonetheless. If it lifts up, I'll glue it again down later. Because right now I'm manipulating the book a little bit too much. And you're supposed to let these things kind of sit for a while. So I'm thinking that this is good. Yes, darling, they're super easy. They're super, super easy. Another thing that I use, but I just don't have any because I haven't gotten any mail yet, is, you know, like those, which is really actually my favorite way of doing this, is with those little boxes, those little priority shipping boxes, but with the little one. That is my favorite way of doing this. I'm just waiting to get some mail in one of those little boxes so that I can use one, because everything that all those little boxes that I had saved up, I used up already. So now I'm just waiting to get some more. Let me go ahead and clip this. And I'm just gonna glue this right along here like so. Now bring this up right to the edge and just hold it down. Right up to that edge, you guys. And then just hold it down and then clip. Clip, clip. Come on, man. I said clip. All right. So this kind of became a little bit undone, but that should be okay. The trim itself came a little bit undone, you guys. Not the book. The book is still standing strong. But this little gem right here became a little bit undone. So I'm trying to hold it into place. And then I'm going to have to add something to these corners here just to kind of hide them a little bit so that they're not so, ugh. Like how those ugly corners, kind of like my ugly nails right now. I know, después la gasto. I'm just kidding. But no, because it's going to be, this is my fear, that putting it inside and out of the purse, you're going to end up catching on to stuff because of just the way that it is. So I figured I remove half of the obstacle by only putting half of it. By putting it in the front. Plus, like this, you know, you can have that flat side, you know, you can put that flat side up against anything and everything, and you're not going to worry so much. If you're going to, you know, usually when we put our books down, we put them down like this. It's very rare that we put them down like this. So if you're going to dirty something, if you're going to mess something up, then let it be in the back and not the front. So let's see. Let's see. I got to find something else to do here, though, because I got to add something here. This is not enough for me right now. It does feel like it needs something. So I got to find out what that something is. No. Where's my black one? Maybe I can add one of each. One on each spot there of the little black ones. I should have had at least a little bit left over. What's in here? Brick rack, black lace. That's it for that. I have a few little pieces here left over. Where are they? Right here. I have 3 left, so maybe I can go ahead and add. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add one of these little black flowers on there. And then I'm going to find maybe like a little gem or something to stick on there also. So the good thing is I don't really have to do it for these corners because these corners are covered, but I can at least do it to these back corners here. Yeah, no, I know that white one. Oh no. That brings the busyness right back to it. So I'm just going to do these little flowers here. It'll blend in and at the same time cover up my corners nicely. Stay, stay, stay. I'm just trimming off some of that little red that connects them. So I'm going to see what I find that I can embellish this even further. And then give this a little bit of time to dry. So let me look into my little boxes of little knickknacks and paddywhacks. Leave it like it is and just place your hand made by smack in the middle. Oh, usually what I do is with my handmade, I don't put it on the outside, I'll put it on the inside. I put it on the inside small in the corner. I need to get one of those personalized stamps, you guys. Where do you guys get your personalized stamps from? Because I try to find places and I cannot find a personalized stamp place that will do a stamp like I like or like I want, I guess, for nothing. So I'm having a little bit of an issue with that. I want to get a personalized stamp so bad. Now let's see what I find here. What I find. This is usually what I do when my stuff falls on the floor. I just put it all in the bag. I knock my stuff over so much, you guys. It's not even funny. I don't think this is going to be the box for me. I don't see nothing I want to add in there. No 40 clovers. Ooh, a little cabochon. Maybe a little cabochon somewhere. Just smaller. Which one matches better? I think that one matches better. Yeah. Let me put a flower on the inside and then one of these and a flower on the inside. Ooh, let me find one more. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm going to do. What else do I got? All right. I think that's it for this box here. Right? I think that's it for this box here. Maybe some iridescent little flatbacks for the inside of my little flowers. What you guys want to get? All those stamps? Yes. I see so many cute stamps, but I want my stamp to be a little different. I see a lot of people with like just different like fairies and butterflies and stuff like that. Carajo, se cayó la flor, man. My flower fell, man. My flower fell. I'm gonna hold it with a clip. I'm gonna hold it with a clip, you guys, because this flower is being stubborn. So I'm just gonna clip it. Right? When all else fails, clip it. Because it's just so many layers of fabric. That's what it is. So I'm just gonna clip that there. And then I'm gonna do this. I got these little cabochon pieces. I don't know if you guys can see it, but let me see if I can zoom in for y'all. Let's see if I can get this a little bit to focus. And um, I'm so delayed on my own videos. It's really funny. Let's see. Can you guys see it there? Can you see it at all? Let me see if I can zoom it in. Don't look at my nails. My nails are yuck. But I have that one and I have this one. It's the same exact girl, just one of them is in green. So I'm gonna leave this one. So I think put it maybe here. Put it right there on the outside of that, right? I think that'll look cute there. And then I'm gonna leave this one to put it like on the inside of each flower. What do you think? What do you think? All Staples is the one that does it. That's where they get it from. So I'm gonna add this one right here. I like that right there. And then hopefully it doesn't fall off, but if it does, I'll put it back. I'm gonna add one here. One in the center of each of these flowers to add that little green element right back into it, but in a calmer fashion, right? Want to be in the center of my flower. Oh, stay inside. Hello. My fingers are sticky. That's what it is. My fingers are sticky, you guys. All right, so let's see, let's see. Can I hold that there with that? Hopefully. Hopefully that'll hold. Rent Cafe. I never even heard of that, Brandy. Let me fix the zoom back again. How's this girl doing? So I want to put it in here. My fingertips are full of glue. That's the one thing I don't like because I'm very, I don't like my fingers. I like to get my hands dirty, but I don't like my fingers feeling sticky. So weird, right? I don't like my hands getting dirty with paint, but I just don't like it when the paint dries. I like playing it while it's still wet. I'll have to search for that because I want to give them an image to do for me. Like I want to make my own logo. I don't want to just use a generic one. That'll stay in there. Oh, that looks so pretty, right? What do you think, you guys? I think that little thing gave it the Midas touch. Let me see if these little gems are too small. I think these might be too small. Oh, this might be just right. Fit right inside the center of each one. And yep, I'm gonna just add a little dab of glue to each one of these little babies right here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in and detach it. Let me get a stick so that I can get that in there right. All right. Put it in and detach it. And then stump the yard. Put it in, detach it, and then stump the yard. So let's see. And like that, add a little something different than what was already going on. So here we go. Look at that. Oh, I gotta put the glue down. So do the same for both sides. Add a little drop of glue. And then proceed to add this one, this one. Now I think for me the hardest part is gonna be to find the paper that matches that matches all this loudness. Okay, this one's trying to be stubborn. I'm gonna have to maneuver it into its place. I'm trying to make sure that they fall right exactly into the hole. Um, and if I don't want them laying over it because I think that they'll pop out easy, so I'm trying to make sure that they go all the way inside into the center of each of these little flowers. Brandy the rent can face when you go pay rent while they drink coffee. All right, so I got my little iridescent little flat backs in there. I'm gonna take these out of the way. Hopefully I didn't blind you guys. But I really like how this is coming out. This is a little bit coming out a little bit. So I'm probably gonna have to don't get twisted on me. This thing is literally twisting on me. I'm gonna have to glue this down again. I just don't like how it was coming out. I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna get a needle. I have a needle already. I think that's more than enough holding it down. And I'm gonna push these up against each other. And I'm gonna close this book again. It's too small. Ah, what did I do? It's too small too. Where's my big humongous clip? Maybe I don't clip it, you guys. Maybe I don't clip it. Maybe I'll put a cup over it, right? Maybe I'll do that instead. Let's put this down. But I want to show you what it looks like so far. I'm just going to hold this down for like a few minutes. I'm going to put a cup over it. I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to try to see if I can find some paper that I can use on that real quick. And I'm going to put all this away. And then I'll do a few covers, maybe like 2 covers. And it's really the world's simplest way that I do it. I don't overcomplicate my life, you guys. Um, and I don't put too much expensive paper on it either. The only expensive paper that I use, I get is for the cover of each book. And that's really about it. So I gotta find a paper pad now. I do have my needle already here, so I do have that. But I'm gonna see if I can find. I might end up using the same one that I used before. This was purple. This is that purple one that you buy at the Dollar Tree. But what I did is that I used my Dazzling metallic paints and then I painted it. I slid the whole thing through it. I sprayed it up and let it dry. And now it's got like this really shiny iridescent kind of brown. But if you look at the ends of it, it's still purple. But I think this might blend enough. Because I don't really have another color. It's gonna go well with that, I don't think. All I have is the basic colors that they give you, which is like that blue and that lavender color, which is not gonna work. So I think I'm gonna use that instead. Now to find a paper pad that'll work with this. That's gonna be the thing there. This one. Wondering if maybe one of these. I'm wondering. Right now my mind is just kind of ticking, so we'll see where it kind of goes from there. But these florals are really, really bright. So something that's kind of plain. Something that's kind of plain, that one might work. I wish that this image was over here. Like, I wish that this image was over here because then I can fold it the right way. Other than that, it's going to look a little bit weird. Pinks. This one might work, the Bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour, no? This is going to be a tough one to get something that matches with this, you guys. I don't really want to use pink with this. I want to keep it dark. So I'm thinking maybe this one. Because it's got the black base. So I can probably make this one work. It's not so pink. So I think I'm going to go for this one. I'm just going to add the two that are in here. I'm going to go for that one instead. This is that resistive paper, so I don't know. This is cream though. This might work. This might work. Come on, this. That's that one. This one might work actually. Have I even opened this yet? No. I think I'm gonna put that Bonjour back. I'm just not that intrigued by it. And instead I'm gonna use this, which is what is it called? It's called paper resist paper. It's called this from Color Splash. And it's a resist ink and foil design. You add paint to see the design, or ink. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some green ink to this. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to use this one. It's got like leaves. I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but it's got like leaves. And I'm going to use one of those. And maybe this one right here. Maybe this one right here says create your own sunshine. I'm going to use these two. I'm only going to put 2 books in this book itself. Now, if you have one of those little eyelet things that actually punches the little metal through and it gives you the eyelets, I don't have that. And the one that I do have, I bought used and abused, and it is rusty and hard, and it doesn't do anything for me at this point in time. That and the fact that I don't know how to use it too well, then you might want to use that to create your, your openings. I don't really have that, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and measure these out. And these are going to actually probably go back in. I don't really like how this paper looks for that. So I'm going to use this one instead. It's really, really pretty. And this is a 6x9 because that's the size of the cover. So I'm gonna do 5.5 by 8.5. I'm actually gonna do 5.5, and I'm just gonna trim this to 5.5. That's what I meant to say. Now that I'm gonna cut at 5.5 and 8.5 because I'm gonna fold this. So my paper is gonna be 11. What is it? 8.5 by 11. Excuse me. So I think that's the size I'm gonna do this. I'm sorry, 8.5 by 11. To kind of use as a cover. So I'm gonna trim this down to 11. Because I can trim this down properly. I'm gonna remove that inch off of there, and then I'm gonna get it down to 8.5. Because that's the size of my paper that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna probably do it a little bit more than 8.5. I'm gonna do it like at 8 5/8, just so that I have a little bit of a border around that paper. Just a teeny tiny little border around that paper. And then you fold it in half. Right? You could score it if you want to. Just eyeballing it. For me, sometimes works better than actually scoring it at the precise measurements. And I'm going to do the same with this one. This one in the bottom, it says create your own sunshine. So, and it's got these really pretty flowers all around the top. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get this at 11. Right, that's 11. Right here is 11. So 11. I have regular black cardstock, but I probably won't use that in here, only because I think it'll take away from the beauty of the paper itself. I don't want it to be so plain. I don't want it to be like so as loud. 5 5/8. I don't want it to be as loud as the fabric itself, but I don't want the covers themselves to be like, plain Jane type of. I want them to have a little bit of something to them. So what I'm gonna do is that with the Distress ink from Tim Holtz, I'm gonna. I did this the wrong. Oh no, it'll still work. It'll still work. I should have did it the other way, but I didn't. And then that's it for that. And then I'm gonna do this and just fold them over to each other. Right, so I have my 2 covers. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the ink and just kind of do that, but I'm probably not gonna do it now only because I don't want to get my hands dirty and I don't want to dirty the rest of what I'm working with. Um, and I don't want to be heat setting nothing at this point in time of the night. But hopefully you guys can kind of see the design on that. I hope that it does shine through well. And then this, instead of it being like here, is gonna be across it, but I think that still kind of works, so it still has a nice little sentiment to it. These I will round the corners off them, so I'm gonna do that now and round these corners off. My corner rounder is very used and abused. I have to replace this with a new one, but it still does the job. And I won't round off these corners here, because if I do round off these corners here, then when I put my bands in, chances are is it'll start ripping it right through there, so I'm going to leave that intact. That's just me trying to be precautious. It might do it, it might not, but I'm just going to round the outsides. And I think that that'll fit. I should have measured. I should have measured, you guys, but I didn't. And hopefully it will. And Perfecto Mundo. Perfecto Mundo, you guys. Oh my God. Perfecto Mundo. And let me see, make sure my thing is in there nice and tight. Yes, they are. So that'll do that. Now my biggest thing is gonna be to make sure that I put these where I actually insert the needle through. That is nice and good. And I might actually remove a little bit of the edge off of here. I might actually make them smaller, because I think that I have a little bit of bulking here, which you won't have if you don't use, if you use straight fabric that is not like, you know, a pair of pants, for example. If you don't put it on the seam, then this will be nice and flush. But this is kind of lifting it up a little bit for me, because I have all the fabric kind of folded right there and it's already at a seam. So that's like almost like putting 5 pieces together. I know my math is off, but you guys know what I mean. So it's a little bit bulky there, but we'll figure it out. No worries. Now let me get my needle. This is those needles that you buy at I think I got it at Family Dollar. And it's those needles to sew mattresses. It brings a whole bunch of different ones, including like a hook one. I'm gonna try to get this needle in here. I don't know if this is the one that I used before, but usually what I'll do is I'll try to open it up somewhat. Try to open it up a little bit more, just so that I can kind of feed it through. Okay. Boy, this foam is really holding on to that. It's holding on to that needle tight. Who needs water, Brandy? Me? This is the bugger here, you guys. I'm telling you, this is the bugger here. I wouldn't recommend that you guys do this, but I'm a little bold. Hopefully I'm not damaging my scissor here, because I love this little scissor, but I hope you still cut, baby. I hope you still cut. So let's see. Come on, I made you wide already. Lordy, lordy. I don't want to break the hook, but I do have to get it to a point where I can at least pass this through. Now, because these needles are a little bit thicker than your normal needles, they can withstand a little bit of maneuvering on your ends. Let me just trim this so it's not so fuzzy. And hopefully that'll help it to pass through a little bit easier. I just needed to pass through once, you guys. See, this is the part where I would grab my video and pause it and then do it. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Come on. Already getting a little bit of an afro here. And unfortunately, there we go. Whew. Thank you, thank you. All right. So I got it. Dinner time. All right. So I got my book. This is the wrong side. I'm going to attempt to, I'm only going to put it here and here. I'm not going to worry so much about the center. If I need to pass it through the center, then I'll do that. Try to get it the highest that you can. And I'm going to grab a tool to do this. Isabel, you have no idea how these tools that you send me have saved me time and time again, my friends. Time and time again. So just pass them through. Cover with your fingers. Did I just literally chop this thing in half, you guys? Yep, I sure did. All right, I think that's it now. Right? But you know what? I'll leave it there. And now, here we go again. My nails are all full of glue. There's got to be an easier way to do this, you guys. This is the one part. This is why I leave this for last every time. I hate feeding these things through. There we go. All right. So we got that going. Let's pull it out. There we go. Right? And I'm going to try to leave it looped up like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this. You guys can see that, right? I have it looped right here. The needle's still attached. So I'm holding one end because I don't want this to feed through. I'm holding that and I'm just pulling on the other one until I get it to a nice spot. And this is a good way of doing two at a time, right? So I'll find a decent little location here where I can go ahead. Now, when you put these down, you want these to be a little bit taut. You don't want them to be so loose. So when you add your paper, you know, you're kind of good to go. Let me go ahead and do this. Yes. I needed to because this is thick. This is thick. It's super thick. All right, so I'm going to be mindful now so that I don't break this thing again. This is going through a lot of fabric, which is why it makes it a little bit harder. I could have made my life a lot easier by removing a lot of that extra fabric, but sometimes you do what you gotta do, you know? So I have my extra thing here. Let me go ahead and see if this is gonna fit, if it stretches enough for me to feed my folders through, and that it does. So I'm good there. It's a good distance. It's a good, it's got good enough pull. And now that I have that there, I gotta which is the one that I need to pull. I gotta pull one of these two. Which one is it? Come on, baby. Now, if you wanted to add, let's say, another set of bands, then you would just put this kind of like right next to the other one. I'm good with those two. I don't need more than that. So you will have enough, you know. And then I'm just gonna kind of tie this off over here, and then I'm gonna cut the rest of this off. Very simple, very easy to do. Just be careful with your needle. Make sure you have this, you have enough. You want to have enough. You don't want these to be so tight that you can't. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to just go ahead because with my luck today, I probably will end up snipping my finger. I want to just make sure that this is not so tight that I don't have any pull. I need a little bit of, you need a little bit of pull so that you can maneuver your paper in there. Now, if you want to attach little charms to it or whatever, you can do that there. Charms to it, then go ahead and snip this down to whatever size you want and or need. I'm going to leave mine as is. I'm just going to turn it into like a little bow if I can. Because if I want to make more, or if I want to attach something else to it, then I can always open that up later and attach it. So that little bow looks crazy as hell, but it'll do for now. It'll do for now. All right. That looks a little funkadelic, but it's okay. The point is to get it in there. So now I have that. I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 of my plastic sheets. I'm going to grab 2 of these. I'm going to fold these in half. And these are like the inkjet printer sheets. What that's from. And these are going to be like my little protectors for this, right? So I'm going to have these over these so that just in case these don't get messed up. And since I'm going to put ink on these at a later time, especially since I'm going to put ink on these at a later time, I want to make sure that ink doesn't transfer all over the book. So plus it's a good spot to like make a dashboard. You can add your stickers, you can add anything that you want to it. And usually what I do is I add a little pocket here so that you can add a picture. If you want to go see what I did, you could go check out Mom to Create's Happy Mail that she just put up. She put up 2 videos, and she pretty much in the second video she goes into the 2 of them that I made for her, and I made them for her with fabric as well. I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. And then you can see that I did 2 of them for her, and they're both different. They're both very, very different. But that was like a little bit more custom made because I know that she likes coffee. So I did those more geared towards, her likes. This is just a little bit more of a DIY, more so than it is anything else. So I think I am going to trim this down just a smidge because I do see that this is 8.5 by 11 and this is actually a little bit larger than that. So both of them are like that. Yeah, it's a little larger than that. So I think by 1/8 of an inch, I think that's the 1/8 of an inch that I left. I'm going to trim that 1/8 of an inch off. And then I'm going to round those corners. And then that's it. We're good to go. Then all you got to do is pretty much add your paper to it. And then you should be fine. So I think just I'm gonna put these together because I want to trim them at the same time. I want them to be exactly the same. And if I don't do it together, chances are that they'll come out different. I just hope that this will do it. And I rounded the corners. I just have to round them off again. This is gonna do it to me. It's gonna do it to me. I know it is. Let me use the other one. Let me use this one. Hi, Dana. Dana, I'm just waiting on you, and I'm waiting on Liz, Very Crafty, to upload you guys' videos so that I can go ahead and do that fairy jar giveaway that I made for you guys. How you been, darling? It's been a while. I just want to make sure that this is good to go. Let's see. Let's try to. I want to make sure that this is good to go. Making sure that these papers are even, you guys, before I trim, because that's okay. If I cut too much off, it's okay. It won't live. It won't stay like that. I might have to trim more off the other papers, but it'll survive. I'm rounding these corners off again because now I done removed that corner that I created. Awesome, doll. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have fun with these jars. And if there's any other themes that you guys want to do for the future, let me know, because I'm open. I am down, you guys. I am down. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this. I'm gonna round off these corners. Like, they don't have to be holiday themed. They don't have to be anything like that. I'm down for whatever. We could do superheroes. We can do all different kinds. And this is about done. Once I do this and I insert that, the paper is the easy part. The paper you just pretty much fold and tuck, and that's it. And I hope I didn't remove too much. I hope I did this just right. So let's see. So we have this one, right? Okay, look, I eyeballed it and it came out perfect. Can you tell I've been doing a few of these lately? It's alright, because I'm gonna have one like maybe every other month or so. Like every other month I think will be good. We have Valentine's coming up, so I think we're gonna probably do a Valentine's one if everything goes well. And then we'll have more of them coming up. I just think that I might do it a little bit different next time. So as opposed to me kind of like leaving it open-ended like that, I don't know. I think I might not do it so open-ended. I'm kind of debating with that right now. I might just do like an invitation type only. And not so much invitation, but I don't know. I might just do it so that only certain for certain people, and just rotate different people. Like, get an idea of who wants to do it and then kind of like pick out the people to do it. I don't know. Because I did it this way. I did it kind of open this month for the Christmas. And it's just been a little bit crazy. So here we have it, right? And you have your protector sheet, your dashboard, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to do with it. You can turn this into a pocket if you want, even though you already have these pockets here. You can turn this into a pocket. You can add stickers. You can add little flags. You can add pretty much whatever to that. Here, I'm going to show you how to pretty much do this. And what I use is very simple, you guys. I use printer paper. I don't get fancy. You guys. I use printer paper. This is 8.5 by 11. Fold it in half, right? round off your corners, fold it in half, and you're good to go. Every book is about 6 pages, 6 to 7 pages, no more than that, or you start getting, it starts becoming very uneven. So 6 to 7 pages each little book. That's a whole month if you do 2, right? 30 days in a month. And every month you can swap out. So you don't have to have everything so overwhelmed in one section. You can pretty much, you know, do them as you wish. Happy birthday, Tanya. Happy birthday. I hope you had an awesome, awesome day. I've been so sick this week, you guys. Like, literally. It started with, like, sneezing, and then, like, 3 days later, it was just, like, my chest wanted to come out of my body, you guys. I've been just, yucky, yucky. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And I'm going to round off these corners here real quick. And if you want to personalize it and stamp your, you know, stamp the corners, stamp whatever you want to stamp on them, you know, hand draw or glue down, or print out your planner sections or whatever you want this to be. And then you can just pretty much go ahead and put them in there. Again, I'm not one to like try to staple these because it's a pain in the butt to staple it. I'm sorry. It's a pain in the butt. And to sew them after going through all this, I really am not in the mood to sew anymore. Right? After forcing this needle through here, the last thing I want to do is force the needle through some paper. So I just fold it and keep it cute, keep it simple, discard it. You know, once I'm done writing what I got to write in it, then pretty much discard it and start over. And that's it. Very simple. It took me a while, but overall very simple. And remember, you can pre-make these. You can do, let's say, 3 of these in a day, and then the next day you can go ahead and make your books. And I mean, what's going to take you the most time at the end of the day, in my opinion, is going to be the folding of the paper, because depending on how many books you're going to have in there, you know, how many papers you're going to need to fold, then you're definitely going to, that's going to take you know, some time to fold all of them. And remember, it takes more, it takes like, you know, 6 to 7 of these in each book. So if you're trying to do 2 months worth in one book, like if you want to have 2 months consecutive so that you can plan, you know, from forward or backwards, whatever the case may be, you know, if you want to plan forward for the following month, and be able to look back at what you have going on in the current time, then you're definitely going to need a few books, right? If you do 7 and 7, there's about 15, right? 7 on one, 8 on the other, then you have, what, 15 right there. And then you're going to have to do the same, you know, to have 30 days. So you're looking at least 4 books of give or take that amount, just to have your months kind of covered. So that can take up some space, some time. For something like this, I will probably get, you know, one of those hair bands and just kind of band it together, or I will create something like a buckle that I can glue on here that I can kind of, you know, reach over and attach it. But right now, I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm just going to put something on it and just kind of hold it down together for now until I do find what I'm going to use with this. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do a giveaway for this. So I am going to put up a video for the fast-paced version of this journal thing. And you guys, I guess you guys are going to have the heads up. I'm going to leave that video up, and I'm going to leave it open. I am going to fill in the rest of these and add the rest of the pages to these books. And I'll probably do a giveaway with it if you guys want a giveaway with it. So I'm going to do a fast-paced version of this video. You guys will go over to that video and check it out. It'll probably be done sometime today. It'll be this exact video, but I'm going to remove, you know, me talking through it the way I talked through it today. I'm going to speed it up so you guys will get more of the step-by-step without the extra, you know, ramblings of a sticky person over here. And it'll have more of the step-by-steps, and you'll get to see everything that I've done so far. And it'll also give you the option to enter for the giveaway. It'll be this. So, yeah, I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It's been awesome. It's been a blast as usual. This is all completely done. Let me go ahead and zoom in so that you guys can see some of the detail in this book. And hopefully you might want to win. So when I do that video, you'll go there and you'll leave a comment about winning, and I'll have whatever instructions for the give, for me giving this away on that video. And if I add anything to this, I'm not sure yet. I'm probably gonna add some charms here. I gotta see what I find. And I'll add some charms on here. So it'll have a few other different elements, because I never leave stuff alone, right? I never leave good enough alone. And I'll be adding some other stuff to this. So this is pretty much what it looks like, and I really do like how it came out overall. Everything on it to me looks really pretty, and the black really brought it, like, it really gave it life, in my opinion. Like, it really switched up the whole it looking crazy, Miss Crazy Pants, to kind of really having more. And I'll see if I add more stuff to that. I might add more fabric applications here and there, to just make it a little bit prettier. But so far, I really do like how it came out. And it has fully functioning pockets that you can add your pens and pencils to. So I didn't feel the need to go ahead and add a little pencil holder or anything like that, because I think that you can definitely put your pens in there on one side, and then you can put your pens in the front, and then put your little tags or your notes or whatever in the back, and that should be good to go. But yes, darlings, yes, my friends, this was my altered pants. I don't even know what to call this. But this is my little travel's notebook. Very simple, very easy. And in the future, somewhere down the future, I'll do another one of these, a little bit different, showing you guys how to do it in different ways. I do it about 3 different ways, and they all come out very different, and you guys might want to see. So it's been awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as usual. I appreciate all of you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you haven't checked out my Christmas hot video, then please go ahead and do so, and tag along and follow all the other ladies and check them out as well. We're going to be having videos every single weekend. For those of you that don't know, every single Saturday is going to be a new hot video. And there's going to be giveaways on that as well. I've already started collecting things. I already started purchasing certain things that I've found along my little travels here and there. And so, thank you all so much. Have an awesome night. Yes, Dana, you came late today, but it's okay, darling. It's okay, because I'll have it. I'll have the whole video pretty much remastered, if you will, and up and going for you guys. Probably by tomorrow. Because right now I'm gonna go make myself some hot tea. I'm probably gonna drink my nighttime sniffling. What is it? How's that commercial go for the NyQuil? But yes. So thank you guys so much, and thank you all for the thumbs up. I so greatly appreciate it. And go check out my Christmas hot video. Oh my God. And I'm about to have hubby's hot video up as well. So thank you all so much. Bye.